are now entering the box. All right, we are back on Inside the Box, our second episode in the new studio. So pumped to have this space. We have a couple special guests on here, a couple fresh Springfield residents, new business owners here in town. Jamie and Melissa, why don't you guys go ahead and introduce yourselves and say who you're with here.
Ladies first.
Oh, okay. Hi, everyone. Melissa. Are we saying our last names? Is this undercover?
If you want to. Don't want to give too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm Melissa, Jamie's wife, co-owner of the Springfield Lucky Horseshoes.
Yes, I'm going to go a little bit more in detail than that,
That's
Melissa.
great.
So she teases me all the time.
For you. I'll let him do the
First, she is way more than Jamie's wife. I am Melissa's husband. She is terrific and one of the most talented people that I know, and super educated in her sports management master's degree. I like to brag on her because she'll never do it. So she's finally working in sports. So I'll let her talk about that later. But
nice.
Yeah, we're fired up to be here with the Lucky Horseshoes. We are part of an 8-team ownership group that acquired the team in December. And it's just been the most fun we've ever had, man. We just love it, everything about it. I most recently worked for the St. Louis Cardinals and Miami Marlins. And this level allows you to be a lot more hands-on and creative. And we just
a little bit more freedom.
Total freedom. I always say the handcuffs are off, so we can do a lot of fun things that would be on the cutting floor at MLB. So got a lot of stuff coming your guys' way.
That's why, like with us, sometimes it's fun to not work with like huge businesses because we just give that much more freedom. There's not like all the hoops you have to jump through, approvals you have to get, and all this stuff. Like the smaller businesses we're working with, it's like we could do stuff quick and fast. It's like, oh, this trend is going on. Let's do something fun. And there's usually a little bit more wiggle room there. But yeah, welcome to Springfield.
Well, we're fired up to be here. We're going to be a little bit more excited when this temperature gets up a little bit.
It keeps teasing us.
Living that West Palm life. Yeah, it's tough, but it's great, man. People are great. The support's been awesome. We're happy to be here, and this is just a phenomenal place to do this podcast. Wow.
Yeah, no, I'm excited to have the space and to have you guys on. Thanks for joining us today here.
I'm a little disappointed that your wife went out in front of us for episode 1, but that's okay. We're good. We're good.
I had to give her the spot in the new studio. She put up with a lot in getting this place remodeled and set up, so it was interesting to. I thought it would be interesting to have Ron get kind of her perspective on just being married to me, but also like doing all this.
Was she with you on the St. Patrick's Day parade float?
Yeah,
and you were the tallest leprechaun ever?
She was walking with and chasing our kids around.
Yeah.
So she had a tough job. Luckily, we recruited our friend, and she also does our daycare. She came and helped wrestle the kids up too because she's like their second mom. So I recruited her. But no, that was fun. You guys were in the parade, right?
Yeah.
What number were you? I didn't even get to see
you
guys there.
We were 2 cars behind the last, I think. So there was
2 cars behind the last.
We got stuck in traffic, but I'll tell you, we ran out of candy in a hurry. So party foul on my part. Next year we'll have a lot more.
That was one thing.
Hand.
My buddy owns the marina, and he was like, "Whatever you do, buy way more candy than you think you need." So we bought I think it was like 5,400 pieces or something crazy. And even then, like one of our people were throwing it out. And I was like, hold on, slow down. We got a lot of parade left. Yeah. But it died off. And
we learned our lesson. So lots more candy next year.
Apologies to all the people that didn't get candy.
The horseshoes suck. They didn't even have any candy.
Some people got shirts. I mean, that's better than candy.
Yeah, that's true.
I just reached for everything. I was just like, hey, throw something out.
In the truck.
I threw Melissa into the crowd one time. Got her back.
Crowd serve. I can't believe how excited everyone was over just random stuff. Like we had these little stress balls, and we're like, "Who wants a stress ball?" I was like, "Me."
Right.
There you go.
That was cool to see that, and we actually went to the WWE event that night. One of our partners, Jeff Jarrett, does WWE.
Oh, that was that night. Nice.
But what was cool is to see all the people for the St. Patty's Day parade. Now I understand that that's probably not as many as there normally are.
Oh, and there's still quite a bit. But
quite a bit. Yeah, we were excited, and to see all the people at the WWE. I think people are just ready to get back out and get together and be amongst each other. So that's what we're hoping for this summer, to bring people together and be an entertainment venue. So that was awesome to experience.
Yeah, no, definitely first experience on it. No, I think it'll just get crazier because I always say it's one of the most like underutilized marketing opportunities. You know what I mean? That's why we really want to try to take advantage of it with our whole just being goofy with everything we did.
Yeah. No, you guys were great. I actually saw I guess that was the skateboard cloud.
Yeah.
Is that what that was?
It was a one wheel.
I really felt like, cool. Boy, we underperformed. We were excited about putting 2 stickers on the side of the truck, and next thing
we
you know,
still didn't get first, so I don't know who the hell got first.
Yeah.
But
we showed up
in crowd vote.
Yeah, there was no. I need to see the tally on that vote.
You
guys had a pretty impressive float. I'm going to tell you that.
I feel
right
like
now.
it was political. Somebody knew the judges or something.
That's right.
I don't play politics. But anyway, you guys are from Florida, right?
Most recently, I'm from South Carolina originally, but the last 5 years was in Florida, and that's where I met this young lady.
Yes, I'm from Indiana originally.
Okay.
But moved for warmer weather over 15 years ago.
Right.
That's where we met.
Isn't that funny? Meant to be, right? Rendezvous in Florida.
Yeah.
So let's talk about just getting this started. How did this come about? I mean, you guys are in Florida, and now you're in Springfield, Illinois.
Yeah, you want how much time do we have? We got some time. This is a little bit of a long story, but I'll try to shorten it up. And
that's all good.
Get your opinion. So, first of all, we love everything about being here, but getting here was the most unorthodox process ever.
Yeah.
So in 2020, just like the rest of the world, we were cruising right along. I was working for the Cardinals and Marlins at Roger Dean Chevrolet Stadium.
What'd you do for them?
I was in charge of the revenue side, sponsorship and ticket sales, driving for the spring training. They shared the facility there. And then I was the general manager for the Jupiter Hammerheads, which is the Marlins Class A minor league team.
Okay.
So loved it. Loved everything about West Palm. Had met Melissa, and we were engaged at the time. And
what were you doing down there?
Well, my career path kind of went a few different ways. I did a lot of community networking type jobs, nonprofit work.
Yeah.
A little bit of marketing agency as well.
But you had a degree in, what did you say?
I do have a master's in sports management.
Okay.
And I've worked in Parks and Rec here and there, but sometimes when you're in college and you're like, I love sports and rec, and then you get out of college and you're like, where do I work?
Where am I doing
Where do I apply this?
So that's a tough thing.
That's
challenge for people.
I was just all over the place.
Where'd you go to school at?
Indiana State.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Yeah. Go Sycamores.
Yeah. Well, look at that. It worked out in the end, right?
Yeah.
Now you're in it.
back in the Midwest.
That's right.
Part-time.
My people.
Now, Florida's going to always be home. Springfield is our second home right now. But we do sneak back to West Palm about once a month, and it's well worth it.
Get a little dose of the warm weather down there.
You got to get down there, that's for sure. So, she had just started a job. That's a pretty important part of this puzzle with a company there. And I don't think was overly enamored with the culture there with her job. If she wants to expand on that. But personally, I was really disappointed in our two teams when we went working remotely, in March 13th or so, 12th, we were just trucking along with spring training, just selling out games, and had produced about as much revenue as we had the year before with a full season. 2020 was just awesome.
Wow.
So, I remember one of the guys in the press box talking about the NBA player who tested positive, and, they shut down the season. I'm like, what? No way that's going to happen here. And sure enough, the next day we're shut down spring training. And at the time, all of us had no idea. We thought, hey, we're going to be away for 2-3 weeks, a month, and, we're going to prepare for spring training 2.0. And, well, that 2 months is now 2 years. So
yeah, I said the same thing in a video. I'm like, let's just get through this. It's going to probably be 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Stupid.
So, yeah, we were sitting at home, and in May, we got a phone call, and they were furloughing several members of our sales team. Fortunately for me, I was able to, super blessed to keep my job. Did have a pay cut, but the way that was done probably planted a seed in my heart and my mind that I'm not in the right spot.
Yeah.
I think the St. Louis Cardinals, and I love them as an organization. I think they're worth, $4 or $5 billion. And the notion of furloughing $30,000 employees was just a disconnect for me personally. Mm-hmm. Again, I have nothing but respect for the two organizations, but the way that was handled, I always say that was a foundational moment, I think, probably in this
definitely.
whole
That
process.
weighed heavy on you for a long time.
Yeah, I think I probably had some survivor's guilt that hey, you know, I still have a job, and
all these other people don't.
Guys that had just bust their ass for us, man. They had done such a great job.
I was unsure what to do. Sure, I was like, what are we doing here? I was like, I guess everybody, I don't know if you're going to have to get an employment. I don't know what's going to happen. But we had that conversation. I was like, let's just look at how that works. I was like, nobody's ever had to deal with it. You know what I mean? And we ended up being very lucky on our side is in the fact that we had a couple clients pause, but most of them we just helped pivot, like their marketing and their efforts. And a lot of them actually ended up having some record-breaking times. And we actually missed out on like a bunch of the extra money and stuff you get because we actually, maintained our revenue and stuff, which I mean is good, but it still is, everyone's getting free money. Like, yeah, this is bullshit.
Yeah, you should have worked those books, man. Hey, wait a minute. Let me get some of that
over here, man.
But you know what? In that situation, you guys did what you had to do. And if you were a restaurant and you had to do, obviously there were some tough decisions. For me, just the value of these major league clubs and the way we did it was a disconnect. Yeah. And it wasn't like I was crying over spilt milk. I really felt bad for these folks that I had recruited to come work for us and had just bust their ass and did a great job.
And all of a sudden this happens.
Yeah, for me personally, it was a real tough time and sort of a look in the mirror type situation, and we used the term cog in the wheel. And that really was that sort of hit home at that point. We're sort of in the Major League Baseball cog in the wheel. You leave, they're going to put somebody else in there, and they'll do that job, and so on and so forth. And we were sort of gym rats. We'd go to the gym regularly, and that was shut down. So I started doing a lot of walking and listening to podcasts, and I found a guy named Jesse Cole who owns the Savannah Bananas. He has a great podcast. I think he's not doing it anymore, but he has 4 years. I asked him, when are you going to do that, your new season? But it's called Business Done Differently.
Okay.
And I just would listen, and I'd come back and tell Melissa about it. And I just, fundamentally, I'm like, this guy that runs this summer wood bat team in Savannah, Georgia, he gets it. He understands that we're not in the sports business. We're in the entertainment and people business. People matter.
Well, I think even like any business nowadays needs to be looking at, their whole business as an entertainment experience. You know what I mean? How do we give a client an experience that they're not going to forget? Because, you know what I mean? Like just whether it's walking in the door, and that's one thing, we focused on heavily with this place is when somebody comes in, we want to give them a little bit of an experience.
It feels good.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that giant orange beanbag that I threw myself on when I walked in the door.
Yeah, makes me feel like a kid again, right? Just get a little.
Well, and you got that. The culture speaks. It speaks, in silence, because you walk in and the graphics and the way everything's set up, and it's a good situation, good vibe that you guys have.
Yeah, I appreciate that. It's definitely what we're going for. So good to get that right.
Yeah. So Cliff Notes version, I come back and one day I get up the courage and say, hey, I think we should buy a baseball team.
How long have you been thinking about that before talking to her about it?
Not very long, because one thing I've learned with this one is I share information on a quick at a quick pace. So probably not more than a week or so. I just thought it just sort of was in my heart, weighing on my mind. And
how long you guys been together at that point? About?
Oh gosh, at that point, a little over a year.
Yeah, probably a little over a year.
A little over a year.
Yeah, maybe a year and a half, because we met in early 19. And,
True.
Yeah, so about 2 years. But
okay.
We had a real solid foundational relationship where I knew I could share anything. And
that's good.
There's a part of me that thought she would just say no, and we'd go and live in our life and bitch and moan about everything and get back to work.
It's like, did you say yes? I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Now what?
Wait a minute, let me scroll down my phone and read
this
how does this work next. Which is kind of funny. That's exactly what happened. So she, without missing a beat, says, that sounds great, let's do it.
Well, I think and at that time I was fortunate enough to take a new job, and I thought it was going to be my dream job. There was like 6 rounds of interviews, and had it been my dream job, we would not be sitting here right now anyway.
Just wasn't what you thought it was going to be.
It wasn't at all. I think the company at a high level is still kind of what I think that it is, but working remotely as it was 5 days a week, and it's just floating heads, and your little microcosm of people really makes your work world. And mine was kind of miserable. It was not at all what I thought it was going to be. I was really unhappy.
Was it more the people or the remote working?
No, I'm okay with remote working. I like a hybrid situation.
Yeah, I was just curious.
It's good for my personality, but
I hate remote work. Whatever we've worked remotely on like snow days and stuff. I'm like, come on, like I want everybody together. I want to be able to talk to people and joke around. And,
I definitely need the people. But so I don't know. It's probably a combination of a lot of things. But your direct manager has a lot to do with your happiness at work, and mine just wasn't good for me. Yeah. And so when he came to me with this, and me again always wanting to work in sports, and I love community and all that kind of stuff, I was like, yeah, let's do it. And I really believed in him. I saw all the good work he was doing at his current job at the time, and just how he felt about the employees and the people and so much more they could be doing, but they weren't allowed to do. I just really believed in him and what he, brought to the table. And I thought, yeah, let's go for it. Let's try it. Life is for living. Let's go.
Gotta take risks sometimes, man, for sure. Especially if it's about happiness. I was listening to this weird, what was it? It was not weird. God, I can't remember what it was, but he was basically talking about how like once like every year or two, you need to do a life check. Like, am I happy on what I'm doing with this path that I'm on? Do I need to make a change? You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And that hit home a lot. You know what I mean? As far as like, a long time ago, I almost wish I would have done it sooner. Now, obviously, how everything played out, it's worked out really well. But sometimes I'm like, I wonder what happened if I would have started this just a little bit sooner when I knew I wasn't exactly happy what I was doing and where I was at with everything. But again, everything kind of works out, I guess. So.
Yeah.
It comes
you have
together.
Your path, yeah, for sure.
Right.
So we celebrated right there and there. We were like, hell yeah, we're buying a baseball team. So I cracked
no
open.
idea which one or how it's going to work, but let's do it.
No idea how this is going to happen or what the process is, but I cracked open a couple of Natty Lights. That's my brand of choice. A little plug there. In case I'm trying to get them to sponsor me one of these days. And a glass of wine here, and we had a little celebration. We're going to buy a baseball team.
That's right.
And then we were like,
and the next day you actually had to figure
team?
out how to do it.
That's right.
100% right. Okay. She said, yeah, I was not necessarily prepared for what's next. I guess we should look into how the heck do you do this?
So what's that even look like? What was the first steps even? That's, such a, like you're saying, it's like, all right, what do we do now? But I mean, you know what you want to do.
Well, people tell us all the time we should write this book. And she recently started making some of the notes because it's been such a wild ride. And the next step is there's a brokerage firm, a group called Sports Advisory Group that brokers minor league sales of franchises, investment at minority and majority levels. And so quickly we found them and partnered with them. And they basically, you sign up and it's just like buying a house. They say, hey, here's the teams that are for sale. What are you looking for? 3-bedroom, 2-bath?
Interesting.
So our first box was warm weather, so we did not get that,
that
year
check.
round.
Sometimes you got to.
Sometimes you don't get all the boxes checked.
Didn't have the second bathroom.
Well, she's from outside of Indianapolis, and my kids are from in the southwest suburbs of Chicago. So we chose actually Illinois, Indiana, and then our preference was probably the Carolinas or Georgia and a warm climate area. But the two most promising teams that were for sale were one in Indiana and one in Illinois. So pretty quickly, I personally fell in love with Springfield. I had met so many Cardinals fans through Roger Dean that were just great people, knowledgeable baseball, good human beings. And I thought that's
unlike these Cub fans over here.
Yeah, well, we got one here too.
Oh, jeez.
Go Cubbies.
Yeah,
I'm just joking.
But so I instantly sort of started looking into everything Springfield. Like, what's happened here? Cardinals, Redbirds, Sultans, all the way back. And the great thing about that internet that Al Gore invented is
the internet.
You can find pretty much anything out there, and just I would just constantly look and try to figure out like what's going on here, and it's a pretty big marketplace. Why is they have summer wood bat baseball. What's going on there? Why are they where they are in attendance and all this good stuff? And pretty quickly, I think I probably came and said, "Hey, I like this one. I like Springfield. This is the one." And then we made an offer on the team, and they turned us down. So we were like, "Okay, let's turn the page."
Guess
on
that wasn't the one.
Yeah, I guess that's not the one. That was probably.
So he actually had it listed though for sale through this.
Well, privately,
broker?
it wasn't like a public
okay.
listing, but they sign NDAs, and then they basically say, "Hey, if you can find somebody, we would
You'd
be
be
willing."
interested. Gotcha.
And the guy did a nice job keeping the team here. He kept the team here through some really, really challenging times.
Yeah.
So I certainly tip my hat for that. But we're excited because we believe that this community probably hasn't seen what they're going to have coming their way this year. And
Yeah.
that's a fun thing. It's kind of like seeing behind the curtain. Like,
Yeah.
you just wait till you see what's coming next. And that's such a fun thing for us. And we sort of live in that zone of what can we do next? What's next? And, trying not to be content with the progress we've made so far, but truly be an entertainment venue that brings people together. And, yeah, I don't know. I'm talking a lot. She's over here going to be like, what? Let me smack this guy around. But
did you even look at the other one? You said it was and there was an Indiana one also?
yeah, we did. We looked at it for about 30 days straight and made some progress there.
Well, and in some ways, it would have been a much easier project to take on.
Have a better base or something, or
Just
The facility.
the facility
okay.
itself, I should
It has
say.
field
yeah.
turf, video board, some of the assets you need to really take it to
Right.
a different level.
Yeah.
I don't think
Expensive
expensive assets.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
think the
definitely
market is better. I think the facility
Right.
Gotcha.
was better, but certainly not the history and tradition that we have at the facility
Absolutely.
here.
Absolutely.
So, I got about
What year was that when you were looking at these teams?
this would have been the summer of 2020.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and then I think we got a call back in late summer.
Probably was a good time to be shopping for one I would think the value would be down a little bit on stuff like that. I don't know.
During
I'm
that
just
year,
assuming
yeah.
with the pandemic, people being unsure what's happening. I don't
Yeah. One thing I've learned about that is the opposite of what you think. Like, it's sort of a buyer's market. The folks that are at that echelon of buying and trading sports franchises, they're not really
Doesn't matter.
concerned with, a couple years, okay, cool. What's next?
Right.
And so I guess maybe late August or September we reconnected and we ended up outlining a partnership to buy the team. At the time they were the Sliders, and at that point we agreed to ride out the 21 season, just trying to navigate COVID, and I wanted to finish my responsibilities at Roger Dean, and we wanted to have plenty of time. We were planning a wedding at the time
that too.
by the way, so there was that.
It's always
little
fun
thing.
juggling all that. Yeah. I guess we'll slip this in.
Yeah. Do you have like 3 to 4 hours to carve out for a wedding?
Can we do it at the stadium?
Yeah, right. We actually we've talked about that.
Yeah.
I lobbied for that. Opening night. Let's just get
I was
married.
Save
definitely-
us so much money. Come
I
on.
was open to it, and I mean, my parents are just a few hours away, and it would have been a really splashy entrance into the community.
Yeah.
But yeah, we opted for Jamaica instead.
It was a
Sounds
close.
like a
It was
good
a nail
idea.
biter.
Yeah. Where'd you guys do it in Jamaica?
Did you say where?
Yeah.
We were Ocho Rios.
Okay.
We did an all-inclusive adult-only resort.
Nice.
Yeah,
Highly
it was
recommend it.
Been to
It's-
Montego.
Yeah.
Montego Bay.
Great.
You know what?
Nice.
Actually,
I was young. I
Montego
was pretty
would have been
little, though.
great because the bus ride over to Ocho Rios is probably the toughest.
That was a
toughest
little
thing. It was
long,
a-
yeah.
Those roads
Nice
are
little-
wacky too.
And the drivers are.
I mean, I was really little when I was there. I mean, not really little, but I was younger.
Younger.
And it was like, we're on the wrong side of the road. Everyone's crazy. What is going on here?
Right.
Don't worry, man.
Yeah. So that's awesome. So then, so you found the team. Had you already met your other partners at this point, or what?
No. We had created the business, and I had basically knew a few of the partners that I wanted to talk to, and primarily Jeff Jarrett. It was one of the guys I met. He was a WWE Hall of Famer and good human being, and we had stayed in touch for several years, and then this same brokerage firm, Sports Advisory, they help you identify other partners. So basically, we were saying we had running two races. We were negotiating to buy the team and negotiating to put together the ownership group. But we were really cognizant of the personalities and, what does that group look like? Is it a group that's good human beings that are committed to the same mission?
Yeah. You got to vibe with your partners.
Yeah, you got to vibe.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like we needed investors, of course, but not just anyone with a checkbook. Like he says, we want someone or someone's with, like-minded and good people. And I think that we found that group, or Jamie really found that group.
Well, we found them because they believed in our model, and we got so blessed. I mean, just great people, great human beings. Tim Hoker, Chris Harris, Chris Rasmussen, Mike Manley, Glenn Gudick. There's just Jason Theodorakis, who's I think a principal in Missouri. So there's just a good core group of folks that believed in Springfield. They believed in our philosophy, and hey, our parent company name is Golden Rule Entertainment, and that was on purpose, to treat people how we would like to be treated and entertain, and good solid business relationships. That's sort of our strategy.
Yeah, no, definitely yes to all of that. But so you found this team. So before you even considered buying it, you did your research? Did you come up here? Did you check the place out, or what was?
So I had been here before. I lived in the suburbs a while back. I had been through Springfield and knew it was the capital city. And then I did I did not do my site visit until June of 21. I planned this site visit to come up here, but we had signed a letter of intent, and we were going to be closing sometime in the late summer, early fall. So I was going to site visit before we closed, but really just continue to do as much research as possible. And I just came to terms with I did not feel like the previous group had the entertainment aspect in place. They certainly were good people, and they put forth a baseball product, but we're so much more than baseball. Baseball is sort of the backdrop of all the stuff that we have planned. So,
and the infrastructure too. When you came to visit and went to that game, to have the experience to see what it was like.
Yeah,
we went to one of their games. Is
that I went to a Sliders game. I think there's a Wednesday night, and there were probably 600 or 700 people there. I mean, it wasn't empty, but the vibe wasn't super. Hey, I'm really there's energy here.
Yeah.
I got a lot more energy walking in this building out here. Your building. Maybe we should have some orange beanbags out there.
That's what we need.
But again, I'm very. Certainly not very respectful of those guys keeping this here through COVID. You imagine the 2020 year got canceled.
No, I can't imagine.
So
I almost got in the middle of building a event venue right before it all started, and I'm just glad I didn't, because I was like, Jesus, that would have probably freaking bankrupted me.
Unanswered prayers, man. I'm telling you, it's a blessing.
So checked it out, and you just knew you could step things up a notch, huh? You didn't come up with them during that site visit?
I came, I think, a few months later in the fall trip.
Yeah.
It was I didn't see a game, but I saw the facility. I did the walkthrough, and that was all I got to see. But
how are you guys feeling during this? So you bought this team.
Excited?
Well, just starting a business, I know, is the most exciting, stressful. It's so many emotions. You know what I mean? Going through these and quitting your jobs, and there's just a lot of risk, and I don't think people understand the emotion that goes into that.
There was a lot at that time. I mean, I lived in Florida and I still do.
And moving.
But moving and leaving a life that I've built over 15 years, and so many great people in Florida, and, us getting married. But honestly, it sounds weird, but the getting married part was just we already felt married. It wasn't a stressful thing.
We got married on vacation.
Yeah. But yeah, it was a lot.
Stressful, but I think for us, it really brought us closer together because we were now sharing, really so much more.
Yeah.
You normally with your...
a project you're both passionate about.
And I think we both needed it. I think we were both in a spot where we weren't super content in our professional life.
Very true.
Now, there's been some challenges for sure, working together, and I have to sort of check myself sometimes. I get very excited. And
work, Jamie, and I knew this before I signed up even. I said, work Jamie is different than home Jamie. And we're going to have to work through some things, some challenges. I knew that was coming, but that's to be expected.
Well, and for me, I knew that not only did I want her to agree to let's go buy this team, but I wanted her to work for the team because I'm like, this person cares. She just cares so much about what's right and good things and good people and all the ingredients to make something special. She has them all. And I'm like, you gotta work for this company. And,
what is getting that master's degree like? What were classes like?
Well, I loved my master's program a lot more than undergrad just because I really focused on the core classes I was interested in, sport law, travel and tourism, all those things.
I was just curious what kind of classes that entails.
Facilities management, all those things. So I learned about turf. I learned all those things. I really, but again, like, what do you do with it when you're done?
Right.
I thought I was going to work for the Pacers or something right out of college, Oh, well.
No, I think a lot of people have that issue. I'm actually interested to see where college even goes.
Yeah.
Because it's like, unless you're like, a doctor or a lawyer or something that you need this thing, it's just like so much stuff you could just learn online if you really study and like want to learn it.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I'm very proud to have that degree. I know my family's proud, but really, job experience, certifications, life experience, you learn so much on that hands-on stuff. So I agree.
Yeah, I was very much like that with mine. I was graphic communication was technically my major, but like I went in there and I already knew like Photoshop, and I did learn like Illustrator. I learned very well. They're all programs we use, but a lot of it I knew already. But I did enjoy my marketing classes and stuff like that.
Did you learn it just on your own, or had you taken?
Yeah.
So class?
When I was in high school, I was into video games.
Yeah.
Playing video games with my friends, you know what I mean?
Yep.
And we would make these like everybody had these like avatars, you know what I mean, that were like represented you online. Well, I was like, I want to make my own, you know what I mean? So I started making my own and trying to make some for my friends and stuff, and just started learning different graphic design programs. And eventually, that just kept leading to, getting better at graphic design, and then, wanting to do a website, and you know what I mean? It was just one thing after another. Just nice. I was just interested. I just wanted to know how to do it. You know what I mean? So I was very lucky to kind of figure that out pretty young, and just keep doing it.
Getting better.
And then just so happens, social media came along, and I kind of recognized, well, everybody's doing graphics for social media, and I was already at that point learning photography and new video. And then really I had made a video. I was working at Ace Sign Company, and I made a video. They made the Super Bowl letters when the Super Bowl was in New York City. Well, it wasn't in New York City, but it was
New Jersey.
New Jersey, that's it.
But they did the big party in Times Square. So we manufactured them, and they had me film manufacturing these letters, and then they sent me to New York City to film the unveiling of them. So I made this whole video, and it was just really cool video. They had this big party, and everybody watched the video, and they're like, man, this video is so great. You know what I mean? And it was like a mixture of that. My father had just passed away, and I just kind of, it was kind of the same thing every day. It was just kind of starting to get a little bit boring for me. So it, I don't know, just all of it kind of together. It was like, and I could just see where video was going. I'm like, video is going to be so important on social media. Like, this is going to be such a big thing. So, took the jump and kind of transitioned. I didn't know I was going to be helping people with their social media. I thought I was just going to be making videos for people to use on their social media. Right. And then people are like, well, what do we do with this video? And I'm like, well, put it on your social media. Like, well, how do I do that? And I'm like, oh my God. And then it's like, well, I'm not getting any views. And I'm like, well, you got to run some ads on it or promote it. So it just kind of spiraled and got where we are today, I guess.
Okay. Yeah.
Long story short.
Good for you, man. Like, that's the thing. The hustle is finding that thing you have passion for and getting paid for it, right? I mean, that's
the dream.
I think you're winning. I think you're winning life right there.
Yeah. Yeah. Now if I can just get a little less hours at work.
Yeah, right.
It's so
Balance.
hard though because I love being here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I love work. So
Yeah.
I don't want less hours, but I do just to spend more time with kids and family and stuff. So, but I've slowly been, I have other businesses that I've been like selling or getting rid of stuff or kind of passing off or whatever, just to be able to, like I used to work every weekend pretty much with a photo booth business, and now I've kind of stopped that. I have somebody else running that just because I'm like, all right, weekends are family.
You still have your stanchions?
Stanchions.
That's Cajun. That's Cajun stanchions for everyone listening at home.
So you come to Springfield, got the team as official at that point.
December 1st, we had a press conference, announced the new ownership group, and off and walking.
Yeah,
not running yet.
Now you got to figure it out. Now it's time to put these plans and excitement to work here.
Yeah, I there's an old book. It's called Light the Wick, I believe, about Frank Beamer, was the old Virginia Tech football coach, and I love that title always. Light the Wick. I like
that title, yeah.
And I say that all the time: is you just got to light the wick. If you light the wick, you can get it to burn, but you gotta when you do that, you'll get people to believe. And I think that was our mission early on. So let's light the wick. Let's get people excited and energized, and it's not going to happen overnight. And then, there are occasionally a few naysayers out there. I don't know if you guys run into them in your business.
Always.
But that's my favorite. That's my favorite.
Why would you not keep using radio?
Yeah.
Well, we can have a conversation if you want, but
you should do a full page ad in the newspapers on Tuesdays.
Yeah.
But that
that's
was
good
it.
though. Actually, one thing that's kind of funny with me is I don't know if he did it to be negative, but my dad was always like, I knew I could talk to him about something, and I knew he would give me every negative option. And I don't know if he just did it to make me think about it or if he was actually being kind of negative. But now anytime I do anything, I think about the worst thing that could happen. But then I plan for that thing. So I always say plan for the worst, hope for the best.
Yeah, well, he wanted you to think it through of the what ifs and poke holes in the plan.
Exactly. So anytime I do anything, even if it's just going on a road trip or something, you know what I mean? I'm like, what are we going to do if we get a flat tire?
What happens here?
The kids, I was like, bring blankets. So can't let the naysayers get you down though, for sure.
Well, that's sort of the vocal minority. I think that's the key. Is there's good people in this community. I think baseball, our vision is to sell out every game.
Yeah.
That's it. And people say, oh, we'll be lucky to do this, and you should give out free tickets and this. And I'm like, that's not our model. Our model is to create entertainment and constantly communicate with this fan base that we're trying to build.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just have a conversation. And it's not always about baseball. Sometimes it's about food trucks. Some days it's about flowers. It's just an ongoing dialogue with, hey, where do you guys want us to take this brand? Where do we take this team?
Well, I think that's what's important, especially us being new to Springfield. We didn't want to come in and just steamroll and say, hey, here's what we're going to do, because that's not right. We wanted to get to know the community and who are you? What do you want to see here? And so that's like the conversation Jamie's talking about is really about not just the team name, which was the first one really, but food options and different things. Like, what do you want to see here? Entertainment, all the things.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you, I know quite a few business owners or, around town, and it seems like anyone that I've talked to you guys have seemed to met with. So I'm very impressed with how much you guys have been out there meeting with people. I'm like, damn, they're out and about.
You got to hustle. Yeah, we have we just got a renovated offices with new carpet and new paint, and we got some signs when you stop by.
I think staff said that you had them do some flooring over there.
Yeah, staff carpet, great local business, and Bailey, all those folks are terrific to work with, but we have pretty much any motivational word with a U, and it has our horseshoe logo. And my favorite one is hustle above my office, and that's it, man. You got a responsibility, and some days I need to work on that balance side of things. But I love it, and we're hustling. We're putting together a good team of folks, and just getting out there, getting in front of people. What matters to them matters to us, and I think that's how you build a team to represent our community. Somebody asked me, did you guys know that you were going to be the Lucky Horseshoes before you came here? And I'm like, I had no idea what a horseshoe was.
Besides a
other
horse's
than a
shoe.
horse's shoe. legitimately had no idea what that was. Now I've had 3 or 4 now, I will tell you, so they're delicious. But
the names that we talked about and just threw out in Florida before we moved here, I mean, nothing. Like, it's nothing that we thought.
What were some of them? Give me some of these.
Can I say my favorite?
Yeah, you can say your favorite.
These.
So my front runner for me was the Holy Cows.
The Holy Cows.
Being a Cubs fan, Springfield Holy Cows. I thought that there's a lot of things you could do with that brand. You know,
You should say
I felt
Cubs. Well, Harry did work for the Cardinals as well.
Right.
Holy Cows, you like that brand. I liked Monkey Business. We were going to be the Capital City Monkey Business, and basically just.
Where did you get that one from? Anything
Well,
specific? I'm just curious because you guys are like looking
politics
at
has been so polarizing, and I
Yeah.
thought, what a great way to just jab at the whole system
Yeah.
and use it to bring people together by making fun of everything politics. And there's also a little bit of a jab at Savannah Bananas, who's one of the more popular teams, and I thought the monkey could, engage that. And geez, we had a list of probably 100 different ideas. It's so funny. None of those were even in the top 5 or 10 of fan voting. But we made a commitment from jump. We're not going to bring in this brand that we like or we think's funny or may sell merchandise.
Open-minded.
We're going to be open-minded, and it got pretty challenging there. Putting Lucky Horseshoes, and the Lucky is a tip of the cap to Lincoln, from rubbing the nose to the Lucky Penny. A lot of Lincoln submissions, as you can imagine.
Well, let's talk about that, the naming, because it was the Springfield Sliders, and then you guys, how'd that work out? How'd you decide about like putting it out there?
Yeah,
I'm just curious how that thought process went, and because ultimately you ended up letting people like submit stuff. So,
well, what happened is during our research period and just following the social and following the interaction attendance, we were trying to evaluate the brand equity of sliders, like why sliders, and we did not go into it from jump thinking we're going to have to change the name of the team. We were just sort of evaluating what are the relationships like in the community. Does this brand connect with Springfield? And as the more and more we looked into it and the more we met people, we decided we probably don't want to put a lot of resources into trying to revive a brand. We wanted to put that effort into something fresh and new.
Yeah.
And we thought coming out of COVID, hopefully, we thought it would give us a chance and then to separate ourselves. So we introduced Capital City Baseball, the parent company, and then that brand, the red, white, and blue look. And we thought it was more of a chance to have a fresh start.
I agree.
I'm very proud that we did that in retrospect. I think that was a good thing for us to do.
Well, it lets people know, we got new ownership and there's going to be some new, fresh stuff. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So then you decided to put it up to like just have people submit their ideas.
We did not just about the name, but like Melissa said earlier, the concession items and hey, what are the pain points? Obviously, the stadium's old. All right, well,
was there just like a questionnaire that?
More of a fan engagement. A questionnaire?
Yeah, our website from the beginning was basically a questionnaire. The capital of fun when we first got here. It was, hey, make your voice heard, and then tell us everything you want us to know.
Yeah.
And then we can address as much as we can, as quickly as we can. Of course, it's all a process, but...
Yeah, I had worked for organizations that we thought we knew better than the fans. We thought we knew better than the patrons. Like, well, we can just guess what they want. And for me, we've learned a lot by asking, hey,
and listening.
What do you want to, what do you want to see? And folks will tell you. I mean, that's the power of social media, is having that dialogue. And some things you don't like that they tell you,
right?
Because it may offend you a little bit, but you got to have thick skin and say, yeah, if enough people are saying that, then we've got an issue there. And that was a fun process just to hear the feedback. And the food and beverage was a real challenging thing for a lot of folks that attended games, and so we've tried to take steps to sort of take those weak parts and make them sort of a strong part of the operation moving forward.
Yeah, and I wish I had some more like background into what it was like. I only attended I think one game.
Yeah,
when I was the Sliders.
Hopefully more this summer.
Yeah, I know, right? So. It's hard for me to. That's probably why you never even saw any feedback come from me, because I wouldn't have had much. So what's different? What are we doing here? Yeah, you said the naysayers, they don't think it's going to happen for this or that. What are we going to do? What's your plan? Give me the inside here.
Well, we're probably not going to tell you the whole plan.
Let people know what's going to be happening.
So high level, what I think our vision is that we create an entertainment experience.
Yeah.
That even if you think baseball's boring, which I do, which is odd coming from a guy that's worked in baseball for 23 years, but baseball can be very boring.
Well, I think, too, if you look at like a family coming, like maybe the husband's super into baseball, but the rest of the family is like, oh, I guess we'll come. It's something to do.
Just to be outside and with the
something.
family.
Oh, yeah. So sometimes like one person might be super into it, but then other people aren't.
Yeah. Well, and then to speak to your point there, to try to offer something for that family of four or whatever it may be, that some component that each one of those folks can really be into, whether it be the food, whether it be the promotions, whether it be the players coming off the field and giving flowers out to ladies and taking selfies with them, whether it be synchronized dancing, whether it be some wow moments where you don't know that somebody's about to have something happen to them that can be pretty fun. I can't talk too much about all the stuff in the kitchen, but really I think it's about creating an experience that, one thing I can talk about is the beer garden. So we're adding a brand new beer garden.
Nice.
That's all local craft beer. So
perfect.
Buzz Bomb and Obed and Isaac's, Hand of Fate, Anvil and Forge, Springfield Beer Company. These local partners have been so awesome, and they just are excited to be a part of it. We're going to sell their products in the stadium. Papa Murphy's Pizza, cooking fresh on site, having more offerings, Nothing Bundt Cake, a lot of local vendors, from the food. I love to eat, man. I just love it. Go to the ballpark, and I love to sample, I love to taste stuff, and I think the food has got to be in a much better position.
Yeah.
Then the entertainment, what do we do with the promotions, and what are the run-of-the-mill? The mascot race is okay, but it's been around for a little bit. So what else can we do to get fan engagement? What else can we do to use these telephones that we all live on? How do we make that a part of the entertainment? How do we make it you feel like you're a part of the show? And I think there's a recipe for all this to bring people together, but also to have things happen that are not going to happen any other time. Moments that are special to this one time.
People are going to regret missing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, and in many ways, in this day and age, you're promoting to as many people outside of the stadium, way more likely than you are inside the stadium. So those moments that I say the difference is going from here. My youngest daughter, she is like glued to her phone, and she's just head down
How old
in
is
the
she?
phone. She's 13.
13, yeah.
And she's terrific, but the difference is going from here to going to there, to where
just point it up. Take a picture, take a video.
Yeah, it used to be we had experiences and we lived it. Now that's not enough. We need to show and prove that we're having this experience. And I got to tell, my 900 friends that are on social media, look what I'm doing. Do you see what I'm doing? Right. So playing to that and giving content that makes people want to engage that and say, holy smokes, did you see this? Mm-hmm. We have these plastic beer bats that are like 20 inches long, and you can come up George Rank's Round Bar. I'm like revealing so many things on this podcast.
You just keep talking.
Getting it out of an exclusive here.
That's it. Everybody's going to be like, what? We've already heard that before. We heard that on In the Box. But they've been a great partner, and getting a draft beer and that big, tall, logoed souvenir cup, fun experience, right?
Yeah, that's awesome.
There may be a situation where we have lucky dogs, not hot dogs, but lucky dogs, and you might have some cash in your hot dog that you buy, and there may be a little of this, little face painting, little balloon artistry, a little bit of the carnival that shows up. The thing is we're going to try a lot of things, and people are going to tell us
what's hitting and what doesn't. Yeah.
We like that. We don't like this.
Yeah.
And we've put out some of the entertainers that are coming, some wrestlers, some Fred Bird, and some all these. We're going to throw the kitchen sink out.
You just threw out the whole thing.
No,
it's not the whole thing. It's everything we put out so far, though.
Yeah, I might get in trouble back at the office. You're supposed to hold that back. This is coming this day, and haven't you seen the social media calendar?
We have a strategy.
When is
sparking?
When does this thing air?
Sparking.
When will this be?
Sparking the interest. That's what's happening here.
I'm gonna get demoted tomorrow.
So what? How have you guys divided up Do you like have specific responsibilities that like each one of you are handling, or is it kind of like you guys are just tackling the whole thing together, or how's the working dynamic on stuff like that? Just out of curiosity.
I do feel like Jamie does so much. Andrew, our third party, he does so much. But at the end of the day, we all wear a lot of hats because there is only 3 full-time employees.
Are any of the other partners like actually working there like all the time?
Not day to day, but a lot. They're invested and involved, helping. Yeah.
I was just curious.
Yeah. But I mean, Andrew is our emperor of Is that what he's emperor of engagement? I got to get that title right. And, he's terrific. He runs the social and runs the creative side, and Melissa's a chief community connector, connecting us. I mean, she's unbelievable at making relationships and meaningful long-term relationships, not one-sided, hey, we'll see you next year when we ask you to be a sponsor.
Yeah.
We look for corporate partners, not sponsors. We want people to have a relationship with the team that's, hey, how do we help you with your messaging? And, it's fun, but it's also a little chaotic because of startup mode.
Right.
There's not as much infrastructure in place as I thought. Mm-hmm. Relative to historicals or analytics or so. New ticketing system, new point of sale system, a lot of that work is
trying to figure out all the logistics and
it makes me like blah.
Some of the non-fun
this
stuff.
This work sucks.
I want to go book some more gigs of
I want to figure out how so I got this idea. I'm going to talk about it. Can I talk about this fresh idea? I tell you about the hot air balloon idea. So I wanted to have the hot air balloon in center field and then have a fan every inning go ride in the balloon and watch the game from up top above, right? Which would be so cool. I'm pretty sure it's not legal. But that's the stuff I want to work on.
Just because it's close to the airport, I would think that'd be a tough one, unless it was not very high. But
there you go. It might be a small air balloon.
Small air balloon.
Those are the things that I just love, and I, all the time. God bless her for dealing with me, because I'm like, what if we?
How do we make this happen?
Yeah,
that's what you got to do, though. You got to think of the most random stuff that like nobody else would ever think of, because that's how you're going to give experience. No, they're not going to get anywhere else.
Yeah, and you know what though? It's little victories. It's just like you and this place, and your victories, celebrating your victories.
Yeah.
And one of the things that we've tried to do is celebrate the victories, like the merchandise. I'm going to tell you, when we unveiled the merchandise,
you guys got great merchandise.
Man, I was like petrified.
I got to get some. I was hoping I was going to get a T-shirt or something today.
We came empty-handed.
She's got
twice in a row.
She's got a 3% discount code she's going to give you.
I'll send you a code.
She's a czar of the merchandise, man. You're not.
That is like
anything.
Kind of mainly what I'm doing now until we have some more.
Yeah, no. If nobody's looked at their merch, you definitely got. What's the website? It's Springfield
Shoesbaseball.com.
Shoesbaseball.com. Yeah, they got some great merch for sure.
All 50 states we were able to sell.
I saw that,
and that was just such a great accomplishment to our marketing team, the branding. I got to plug Ryan Foose, man. That guy, our designer, was just so talented, and he listened to our feedback, but he listened to what the community was telling us. And there were times where like, how the hell are we going to do a horseshoe?
Yeah.
I remember seeing the Capital horseshoe logo. That's the shape of the sandwich, sort of. I guess that's a taboo thing, though. The horseshoe meal, is it a sandwich or not? Is a big thing. And I remember looking like, holy smokes, that is like really cool, and we'll see. But
he brought it to life. He did great.
He did a good job, for sure.
The Lincoln Penny is probably my favorite. It just sort of is a nostalgic look with him holding the baseball bat. But I think there's some diversity in the brand, and there's probably a lot of directions you can take it moving forward, which is kind of fun.
I think you guys will probably do good on the merch. The design, it comes down to so much on the design and I get material also, but
yeah, for sure.
I know when we had shirts made a while back, I made a ton of them because I knew I was going to give them out to people and clients and friends and family and stuff. And I spent an extra couple bucks per shirt just because I was like, look, I want people to want to wear this thing. And literally everybody that wears them, like, this is the most comfortable shirt I've ever friggin' worn.
That's great.
Mm-hmm.
And my father-in-law, he was wearing that thing 3 times a week for a while there.
I got to get him a few more shirts.
Yeah, I know.
That's paid marketing,
that thing got worn out quick.
That's paid marketing.
But they're how about do you guys how do you go about for merch, like getting it made and everything? Is that
Well, that's been challenging. Honestly, the supply chain issues are real. We first came into those as we were ordering our game hats, and still are waiting hats that were supposed to be here in March. So there's some back order on some of our the baseball caps that were ordered. Very frustrating.
So what do you got on there now? You got T-shirts, hats?
Sweatshirts, hoodies, hats. A bunch of there's a bunch of stuff coming. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I just finished
gotta
up.
be ready.
That's why I was late today, Zach, because I was finishing up about over 700 pieces to
Yeah.
send out. Yeah.
So we've been a combination of ordering some direct, ordering some product, and then getting it screen printed or printed local. Just sort of a hodgepodge of things to make it happen until hopefully there's some
Why did I call
normalcy
you Zach?
that comes around.
Did you call me Zach?
Did you?
I just had a moment like
Jeez.
I think I've called you Zach twice.
No
in
problem,
this,
Sarah.
and it's true.
Yeah. I'll just be Dave. Zach.
I'm so sorry. I don't
Is
know
that
why.
like? Did you just call him?
I think
Zach
the bigger
or
question is who is Zach?
Oh my gosh, that's embarrassing.
I feel like
Sorry.
we've uncovered some issues today, so the dinner conversation should be interesting. We're going to a 90s
We're taking
party.
the podcast back to dinner.
Yeah. We're going on the road, folks.
When's the first game?
Well, June 1st, home opener is June 4th.
Okay.
Yeah. We're on the road
Is
the first three, yeah.
Okay, the first ones are away.
Yeah.
Exciting. Who are you playing first, though, for the
The
beginning?
Alton River Dragons.
River
Yeah, they're
Dragons.
down in Alton, Illinois, and we'll see. We actually introduced our first player today, Jake
saw
Curtis
that.
from Lincoln Land.
Right? Yeah.
Trying to go a lot more local with our guys, some real talent in this region, and we're excited. So, the thing about the rosters, you never know until they show up and play the games. It's a competitive league, and we'll see how that works. But I think people will have fun.
So how's that work trying to find players? Like, what kind of process do you look at there? You're looking at just local colleges, or is it?
Yeah, so our philosophy is a little bit different than our predecessor. I mean, we're looking as local as we can be, but we want legitimate draftable players that have a chance to move on and play at a higher level. And we sort of look all over the country. Our league is doing really well at attracting talent because of the growth and the footprint of the Prospect League. And these types of leagues are really more a part of the minor league system than they used to be years ago because of the reduction in minor league teams. And there's some real talent in this league that's draftable. And, I equate it to going to a minor league baseball game. The kids that I had in Jupiter, they were probably the same age or just maybe a couple of years older than what we have here. And that'll be great talent, good baseball. I'm excited about several of the players we'll be announcing here soon that have really high ceilings. And I know we'll have 3 or 4 guys that'll be drafted from the team here.
I almost spilled the beans on the one.
Dang it.
I'm surprised you didn't say it.
Listen, don't tell. You need to stop telling Zach all the trade secrets around here.
feel terrible
Andrew,
about that.
I
I'm so
apologize that
sorry.
you've been called Zach today.
I so know your name. I can't believe it.
And you might as well tell him. I've told him the entire promotional schedule.
Just gonna keep talking until I get everything out of you guys.
Did I tell you about the human cannonball yet?
No, I'm surprised you didn't mention that either because we haven't announced that either.
Hey, the human cannonball is awesome.
Yeah.
It's
What
coming.
about the $3,000 night or whatever you're telling me about? Everybody gets it.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well,
that's-
it kind of is.
yeah. There is
Details to come.
Yeah, there's actually something like that, but yeah, it's good. You try, but our community is great people, and they're responding, and we're just having such a blast.
Yeah.
Meeting people and the partners getting behind us, and the season ticket buyers, and it's really really cool to see. Petrifying as a business owner to start and get your partners, and you want to do well for them, and but then as you go through the process, it's like this is the most fun I've ever had. So, so much fun.
How many employees do you guys have then?
So there's 3 full-time employees. We'll bring on some interns that'll start here. So our interns are for college credit, but they also get paid as a seasonal employee during our games. And then probably 25 to 35 seasonal employees.
Yeah.
So we'll probably be right around 50 or so when we're full on.
Okay.
And then there's the manager, coaching staff, and then 32 players. So all in, we're right around 85 to 90 people,
Crazy.
which is a pretty seismic jump from 3. So
yeah, we're hiring. If you want to put that
like
word
everybody
out.
else in the entire country, we're hiring.
Yeah, everybody. Where are the workers?
Yeah.
That's a lot to manage and deal with. There's 6 of us here, and we're also hiring. But that's weird. So off season. Obviously you have what is it 4 months? Right?
We're
Just trying
about
to
2.5
remember.
months of baseball.
Okay.
So June through mid-August.
And then just a lot of planning and
lot of planning. We
Figuring
may or
things
may
out
not
in
have a
off-season.
specialty event in August.
Yeah,
We will have one. And then maybe in the fall, we're trying to have programming around the calendar year. So there's a couple of events that we're working on to sort of expand what it is that we do.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, one thing I did not do, I usually ask at the beginning of the podcast the hardest thing about being a business owner, and then wait for the answer at the end. But I guess we'll just do the whole thing right now.
Yeah.
And we'll get an answer from both of you. So
Yeah.
let's get what
Wow.
you think.
Why are you going to me first? You answer first.
Well, it's just the diplomatic thing to do is you yield.
because you don't have your answer yet. That's why you.
No,
want me to
I
go.
have mine. Is to me the business owner part is all of the things that go in the hoops, the filing this fee, filing this registration, doing
all the miscellaneous crap.
all the things that in your enthusiasm and you're fired up to go do this. You're thinking about selling out baseball games and promotions and the hot air balloon and the human cannonball. And it's not like you got to file form 34 at this place by this time. And,
shit.
but it's sort of a part of the process. To me, that is the challenge. And then the patience of when we have something happen, or I know there's a promotional appearance or something's going to happen, I want to just tell everybody, hey, look what's going to happen. So those are my two, the day-to-day sort of office things, and then the patience of not just wait till you see this.
We've been very we haven't posted a lot of inside the studio. So I've been trying to get it done, you know what I mean? I'm like, I don't want to share too much until we get it done in here. And, just trying to get everything perfect. And
it's terrific, man.
So it's been a challenge to not just look at this place, you know what I mean? So I was just proud of all the work that's gone into it and everybody's help on doing it. But, I could definitely see the challenge of trying to keep in stuff that you're just ready to share. All right, how about you?
Well, and I've heard that from many locals here that Illinois is one of the hardest states to start a business in with all that paperwork, but luckily Jamie handles most of that, so that's not one of my pain points. I don't know. I really don't. I just think it's the whole adjustment to a new city, and the best and the worst is creating what I want to do with my role, because there's a lot I do already. We like I said, wear a lot of hats, but there's really no blueprint, which is great,
right.
But it's also, there's so many different directions to go, and where do I go? Yeah. So just, and we share a car right now. That's a pain point, but
hopefully not too long, thanks to our friends at Green Auto.
Yes,
there you go.
Thank goodness.
Was that a plug?
Yes.
Zach,
you're on your game today.
We charge for that?
I'm going to give her such a hard time. No. Yeah. We're going to need to send the invoice over. Send the invoice over on that.
How about just to because you're a couple owning a business, how about as a couple owning a business together, working together, the hardest part?
Yeah.
Well, I think, there's no, it all just blends together now.
Yeah.
No matter the hour of the day, we'll go home and
honey,
we'll
wake up.
working.
I have an idea. I want a hot air balloon.
That's not too far off.
Yeah.
Well,
do I need a license for that?
She does see that I'm probably the most dynamically different, at work than at home. So I always say, you gotta let me be me. You gotta let me go. So we'll get in the car and I'll act silly and I'll just, because you're buttoned up all day and you have
you
those
don't know the
moments.
side.
I just love to have a good time, and I love to
not take yourself
laugh,
seriously.
and no, not at all. And so I love that decompression of just being goofy and just laughing.
All right, go get the bourbon.
Yeah.
That'll loosen him out. Actually, I'm the bourbon drinker.
We're going to extend this another hour.
Yeah, I'll get the Natty Lights out. That's another plug. But but it's been fun because, there's nobody else on the planet I trust anymore. And I know that she's going to give you real feedback. Sometimes you don't like it, but you're going to hear it. And, it's good. There's challenges, but the pros certainly outweigh the cons. And for us too, we're selfish with our calendar. In our off season, we want to travel. We want to spend more time with family. There's another part of this project that we loved, and that's the time constraint I mean, in Florida, I would have 30 spring training games and another 70 minor league games. You're talking 100 days a year. I'm at the ballpark working games and
nights and weekends.
Nights and weekends,
year,
and
yeah.
that's a lot of sacrifice for family time. And here we're 35 to 45 events a year, and you have that flexibility and that time to be present as a dad, be present as a son and son-in-law now. So that's the part that makes it worth it. To kind of go through some of the challenges of all day, every day. But there's nobody else I'd rather do it with.
I hear that.
Well, I'm definitely excited to see what you guys have planned and see what you guys are going to do with the team. I think it's exciting to have you guys in, in Springfield, trying to do something a little different. So we definitely appreciate that and appreciate trying to bring some excitement to this and see what happens.
Yeah.
I always say it's like anytime someone can provide something fun to do in Springfield, I think that it's going to be a successful, venture.
I hope
90% of the time.
We come in it with eyes wide open, so we understand the it's kind of what we're up against. It hasn't been overly successful in the past few years, but I think this is our time. I really believe this community needs this product, and we need this community, and those things are sort of coming together in a way that is going to be special. I think we're in for a really good season, and we always talk about year 2. I can't wait to have a full off season.
Right.
Startup business mode. It just eats away. We had to sit down with the Park District. By the way, has been terrific to deal with. We negotiated with them. We thought the lease was transferable. We actually had to put 2 months of negotiating in there. Just the little things that sort of take away from the planning and baking the product of promotions and so forth. But yeah, we're fired up to be here, and people like you guys in town. That energy. There's a movement here in this community that I don't even know how to describe other than just positive energy. Like let's be better. Let's go and do fun things, and let's get this thing going. And we feel that all over. There's been so many people that we've met here, and it's just like, wow, we're thankful that you guys are in town. Our season ticket sales are up. I mean, significant, way more than I thought we would have.
Awesome. That's
well,
good to
look
hear.
what happens when you put it online and allow people that easy access. I mean,
if people want tickets, what's the best way to the website?
Right now, tickets.shoesbaseball.com.
Okay.
We have season tickets, half season tickets, and then here next week we'll be unveiling the full promotional schedule. So I won't be ruining anything else after that. And
are the tickets all one price, or how's that work?
Right now, those two packages, $300 for a full season ticket, and then $150 for a half season ticket. But on the 18th of April, we're going to have individual tickets on sale, so you'll be able to go and buy your individual tickets.
Does a half just mean half the game?
Half season, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're broken in. There's 30 home games, so 15 pack, 15
you
pack.
have to leave at the 5th inning.
You only get to see the beginning.
We're going to need you to
second
leave.
half.
Yes.
All right, you guys need to go.
No, that's awesome. Anything else you want to share or to put out there? Shoes. What's your social media tags?
Shoes Baseball.
Shoes
Yeah,
Baseball.
everything's Shoes
Everything
Baseball.
is Shoes Baseball.
Yeah. We kind of hope that becomes the name of the team, right? The Shoes play tonight, and Springfield Lucky Horseshoes has a lot.
It's a mouthful.
It's a mouthful. So
Well, you guys
the
did good
shoes.
with the branding. Like I said, love the merch, love the logo, and I think you guys have done great with that from a branding company side.
Yeah, thank you. No, what you guys do in your work is really cool, and we're fans, and we're excited for the grand opening. I think that's coming up, right? Is it an open house? Or am I supposed to say that?
May 13th.
Yeah.
Got it going on.
If you didn't get the
private
invite, if you didn't get the invite, he does not like you. I'm just No, I'm just kidding. But, hey, we're excited to be here, and there's a lot of great things happening in Springfield, so it's good. And you guys, by the way, the best food. Like
so much good
So much
food.
food.
I am like a good 15 pounds up.
I was just
going
to say, where are your healthy spots? Do you eat at home? Do you cook at home?
I just got a salad from Quiznos today.
Okay.
Wow.
Quiznos looking for sponsorship. No, it's just, I end up doing like if ever I'm like going for something a little lighter, I'll do like a wrap.
Yeah.
Okay.
Chicken Caesar wrap yesterday at the corner or whatever.
There you go.
Know what I mean? Yeah, well, thank you for coming on. It was great getting to know you guys. And like I said, it was exciting to have you guys in Springfield and see what you guys have planned.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for your time. We love being here.
Appreciate it.
All right.
Thanks, everybody.
Take care.